Hello, my name is Kristen Sondrio, and this is my speech on food poisoning. Now, food poisoning, in case you didn't know, it affects approximately 48 million Americans per year. That equals around 1 in 6 of us, with 3,000 of those cases ending in death. Scary, right? This information came from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, also known as the CDC, where I received much of my information that I will be sharing with you all today. Food poisoning is a sickness that causes people to throw up, nauseated, diarrhea, and it is really miserable to contract, but it is very, very common. So, how can we prevent this? I myself work in the food industry. I'm a barista at a coffee shop where we also make pastries and crepes. Now, crepes consist of approximately 8 eggs to a batch. A batch makes around 10 crepes, so you can see there's a lot of eggs. Therefore, when I am at work, there's a high priority of cleanliness, wiping down areas where we spill the batter, etc. So that is the reason why I chose this topic and wanted to learn more about it in order to keep my work environment safer and to have information that I can relay to my employees and supervisors on the risk of food poisoning. Now, why is this issue so prevalent, and how can we lower these numbers and create safer eating environments? Well, about 7 years ago, my family, we were attending church, and there was a meal provided at the church that was catered in. This meal consisted of corn, mashed potatoes, salad, ham, and roast beef. Really common, Sunday dinner meals. About the next day, throughout the night actually, 4 out of 6 members in my family contracted food poisoning and were very ill from that. We were a little confused because, we knew we were at this church gathering, but obviously we didn't know which item came with the food poisoning, which item was the one spreading it, and if anybody else had got it. We found out within the next few days that multiple church attenders actually got food poisoning as well. And by the time the next Sunday rolled around, we found out it was probably about 80% of our church of 300. So many people caught food poisoning. Throughout the next few days, we just had to apologize. My family we're volunteers at our church, so we helped our pastor and the staff just apologize for this inconvenience, and we didn't want to throw under the bus the food caterers, but also relay to them what had happened. After some investigation, we found out that it was the roast beef that had spread the food poisoning and gotten everyone sick. We found out that this is because it was kept in a roasting pot that was not at the proper temperature, and it was sitting in there for about 5 hours prior to being served. The CDC recommends that if you are to keep food warm, that the internal temperature should be at a proper level in order to kill harmful bacteria, which in this case, that bacteria was not killed and it ended up causing food poisoning. But our church is not the only location that has caused food poisoning. A lot of people have stories about this from eating out at restaurants, even in their own home, maybe not washing vegetables or contaminating a cutting board with raw meat or poultry. So, what can we do to keep ourselves safer, as well as in the food business like I am, keep everyone else safe as well? The CDC recommends separating raw meat and poultry from eggs and from all other fresh fruits and vegetables, making sure we are cleaning and sanitizing prep areas and cutting boards. This is very important in my line of work, where we have fresh fruit that we also put on crepes that is being prepared in this close environment to the crepe batter that contains a lot of eggs. Another thing is to cook food to the right temperature. In my life, that is cooking our crepes until all of the batter is cooked, none of it is raw. This might mean checking your chicken temperature when you're cooking it, or your pork temperature. Also, make sure that your refrigerator is at the correct temperature so that the food inside does not go bad. And ultimately, please wash your hands, wash your surfaces, and sanitize constantly. These are just a few ways that we can prevent food poisoning and help lower the numbers that have been extremely high in the U.S. My goal is to inform the people that I work with and come in contact with about the dangers of food poisoning so that we don't cause any outbreaks in our food establishment. That is what I have for you today. I hope you could learn something about food poisoning and how you can prevent it. Thank you very much.